take from my bed to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Will today be rough or will today be great? 9, 10, 11, 12. Lately I've been going through hell. 13, 14, 15, 16. Today's the day. Are you coming? Are you sick of being normal? I'm sick of being average. I'm sick of being mortal. I'm about to be a savage. I see a lot of things that I want, I will have them. I got a new mindset that I just established. I'll march through the cold with the nails on the pavement. I'll shovel that coal just to get out the basement. My story will be told, helping others make changes. I'll be so bold, they will watch in amazement.
Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
Foot up on the pedal, pushing hard to the metal. Make a deal with the devil. Channel rage through my vessel into something that is special. Energy of a rebel, going up a level. I just wanna be greatness. I could feel changes, turn a new page and tie up my laces. I will be the bravest, break out of my cages. I will not be nameless, I will not be aimless.
Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start over? I keep waiting. Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Locked-In Podcast, episode 200. We're here with episode 200. Crazy that it's already here. I feel like these last 4 years have just been crazy fast, but just want to tell everybody thank you. I do want to welcome in the two guests that I have in here right now. We got a bunch more coming, but just welcome in Dante. Dante was here last week, and then welcome in Nichole as well to the podcast. She was on one of our first 25 episodes a while back. So thank you both for hopping on tonight.
Of course.
Yeah, what's up? I'm doing some random stuff. Crazy. I feel like I'm always doing random stuff on these things, when these interviews.
It's all good. When George came in, he was like the same thing like last week. Just he was like in the background there. I think he's coming on at some point. Yeah. So I've told people like a while back. It's kind of me who like hosts it now, and then like a couple of my boys do this as well. Kind of like behind. So it's like kind of like a team thing. But George, me and George are obviously still friends, but we just kind of split like in terms of like hosting the show. But I felt like he should definitely he was through majority of these episodes. So we should, he should. I feel like he should definitely be here. Yeah, for sure. And he still comes on for some of the episodes too, as like guests and stuff on here. But it's crazy. We had a lot of crazy different topics through these years, and majority of them were like personal development and sports. We had some crazy like outliers. Like I noticed too. I think like sometimes we just listen to like what people like want to hear us talk about. So we had ideas at one point. We did like a mafia like episode, just kind of talking, but we kind of try now to stay very, very niche, like focused on like what we talk about, because like sometimes you could be all over the place, but the only problem with that is your audience might not like certain content, so people might not watch certain episodes. So we kind of try to stay true to what we originally kind of founded this on. But and Nichole was on one of the first 25 episodes, and I think we talked then, it was about kind of like business, like social media marketing, like I think things like that when we had that episode. And then Dante's been on a few different episodes. Last week we did one on the Eagles. He was on for that, and he was on some of our business episodes as well.
Yeah,
it's come a long way.
Yeah, I'm locked in on sports right now.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely been cool
for
with
sure.
the podcast. Oh yeah,
for
shout
sure.
out to Chick-fil-A.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying shout out to Chick-fil-A. Try to get a sponsor from my next podcast. Yeah,
No, make them pay you for the advertisement.
Yeah, we need that advertisement. Chick-fil-A.
They need to start sponsoring. You're going to be shouting them out. And it's funny that we were talking about marketing before. So I stopped my business to start doing school because I couldn't do both at the same time. It's too much.
Okay.
So I am getting my certification in business leadership and project management. But with that, now with my job, now I do like marketing and like event coordination at my job. So I've taken it a little bit further in my professional career. So eventually I want to get back to like doing the business thing once I graduate. Yeah. You can always take those skills.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's definitely dope.
Yeah, for sure.
What's up?
Yeah, congrats to you. Congrats to you for going back and chasing your goals. Thanks, Nichole. That's awesome.
Hello, new person that just
What's up, Rich? What's going on, bro?
Richard Media right here, top left. What's up?
What's up, brother? Repping the green. I respect it. Respect. Good.
I like your mic.
I don't have anything green.
I appreciate it.
I know, that's cool. I don't have anything green on, but my wall's green in the background, so I guess that counts as repping for the Eagles right now. But yeah, it was a crazy game last week. But Rich is obviously, he's kind of like one of the alternate hosts here at the podcast. Obviously, Rich has been on a ton of episodes. And yeah, guys, go follow as he just said, he's got a YouTube channel too. It's just dedicated strictly to Eagles sports content. So I'll actually put that in the chat for everyone, so we can kind of see that. Put that on the screen. So go follow Rich on his YouTube channel. He's got a few thousand subscribers, so he's killing it over there. I know you took a little break as well, right, for a little bit, but I know you'll probably be back to posting some content now. I mean, hey, Eagles are in the Super Bowl, so.
Yeah, I got my shorts and stuff going, but really need to get back on that real content. Thank you for the plug, man. Appreciate it.
Are
no
you
problem,
on?
Man. Thank you for being.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. What were you saying, Nichole?
No, I was just saying, have any of you, are you on TikTok, like promoting your businesses and your media? And if so, have you encountered any issues, be as though, the whole ruckus that's been going on involving TikTok?
That's a good question. TikTok, to be honest, I have some content on there, but I haven't posted on TikTok in a long time, but I do have a podcast page set up on there. I need to be better with posting on there. It's like the last platform I kind of utilize, but
that might be a good thing.
If I was posting currently, I could probably see some issues going on with everything that's kind of going on. There's kind of a lot of uncertainty surrounding TikTok right now. So, as you know, so it's, obviously it was brought back like less than 24 hours around it. I know a lot of people were upset about it going off. Like they were getting very very upset. And
Yeah.
even my girlfriend like too. She was like, no, like TikTok's going, but then like listen, and 24 hours later it was back. But there still is uncertainty, right? Like we don't know
Yeah.
if it's gonna how it's gonna be here forever or what's gonna happen or
You know what?
Yeah.
I have like a partner when it comes to like making apps and stuff. And I was telling him we made like
Mhm.
this social media app, and I'm like, bro, we need to take this to the next level. This
The
like
opportunity.
a couple of years ago, yeah. And I'm like, what's going on with TikTok is just another reason for us to take this to the next level. Now we had some difficulties when it came to um like hiring other programmers to do like some of the work that we needed to be done because it's like when you're creating an app, it's some things like if you're working a regular job too, it's like it's like some things that you have to do that's kind of difficult because you got to go around your schedule. So you try to like outsource some things, and like the guy that we had outsourced
Hmm.
was from a different country, but he wasn't really like doing what we need him to do as far as like everything. So I wanted to like maybe start working on it, maybe in the summer or something, to see if we could bring it back because we did get like a good amount of subscribers and people that downloaded the app, but it didn't really go nowhere as far as the features. The app was under, I feel like, a standard of social media, but the app worked, and I feel like if we like revamp it, maybe we can like have like a app, and I think it's important that like we could diverse diversify like apps and people that own apps and like uh factor in like what people actually want in the app instead of like random stuff and all the changes. Like make an app that's like geared to like the its users and like what people actually want to see on the app. So that's something
Yeah.
that was like really interesting to me because of TikTok. It kind of opened my eyes. It's that like make me want to like feel like I could keep going in that aspect.
And
Yeah.
I agree with you
Yeah.
on that front. There are a lot of people that have great and excellent ideas when it comes to apps. The problem is they don't know where to start. And even when they get started, they don't have the resources they need to actually get it up off the ground. It's really a knowledge thing. It's a knowledge thing. It's also a numbers thing. So, like you said, you need data. You need to know if this is what people are actually into. You need to know finances, like how much is it going to cost? How many people are we going to need to run it? I just it's unfortunate that we have so many people that are creative and then can, have a good, really good app, but where are the resources to be able to teach people these things without those stupid, they have these Ponzi schemes where they had people, oh, we can teach you how to do this, and then it's like BS. But like genuinely help entrepreneurs that have an idea.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's not just because I feel like a lot of people sell courses or information like online. You'll see all the pop ups or ads like on
Mhm.
Instagram, like
There's no
YouTube.
direction.
But
Right.
the problem also is with those people who are selling a lot of times, they're selling because that's how they make their money. They don't
Hmm.
actually. Not everybody has the skill set, but they sell. They make their money and their fortune based off of selling you courses. So a lot of
Exactly.
people who have a lot of people who have really really unique skill sets, they don't want other people to have that knowledge. As selfish as that may sound, a lot of people
So there's a lot of
they don't want
gatekeeping and stuff.
competition in their market.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
so what they do is they gatekeep so that they can go to somebody who will pay them to charge them for a service to do it for
You know
them.
what?
Like so there are people out, yeah,
One of the
there are a
things
lot
that
of
I
people that will
oh, yeah.
also like consult, but yeah.
One of the things that I want to get into, like as a side thing, I have like a lot of side like projects, but one of the things that is so hard for me to do is like get into like selling like hair and hair products and stuff. That like the gatekeeping on that is so
Mhm.
crazy. And every time like you talk to somebody, you be like, oh, you like I actually went to this it was like a girl that or a woman, a young lady that has a hair store. I think it's in Bristol. So I asked her a few like questions and some information, and she was like, "Yeah," told me her little story of how she got started. And I asked her, well, can you help me? She said, yeah, all you gotta do is go online and find like somebody selling a manufacturer list. Even though she just told me that she has all the manufacturers and like everything that I would need to get started, but she's gatekeeping it, telling me I need to go find like somebody that's selling a list. And I'm like, that's enough money in that business to like make it like anybody could like make money in that business. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of gatekeeping in certain like businesses. Like some people just don't want you to know. As far as the courses online, a lot of people sell you these courses. I did like delivery app things, like another thing I do. And like I did a free thing and like their little free course, like day free course. And as I was doing it, like the guy was just trying to sell us like more courses. Even though I did the free one, he was trying to like advance our
Funnel.
information by selling us an actual course. And I'm like, I was asking a question like, well, I'm in Philadelphia, and it's like some of these things that you're telling me to do or the app says it's not available in that region, or it's like a wait list to do it because we're in a
Yeah,
populated area. So it's like some of these
that's
things
usually
is
how.
they
Yeah,
yeah, it's just information, but it's not helping me. Like you selling me information that's
it's
not
like a
actually
sale. It's
helping
like a
me. Like
sales funnel.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like a sales funnel. That's
And
usually
here's
what
the
some of the
thing
stuff.
people don't understand. There's enough for everybody to eat, right? And if you're really good at your
yeah,
Mhm.
business, you can sell the same exact thing. I'm going to use an example. So for me, I don't know if y'all ever heard of paparazzi. So that was a business that I had, right? That might not sound like a lot, but the first month that I had it, my profit was $500. It might not seem like a lot, but it was
that's a
my
good
first
profit.
month doing it. That was the profit that I had. Not after everything, after overhead, after everything. It was $500. And we were selling the same exact thing. Everybody on my team was selling the same exact thing. The problem was I
Okay,
knew how to market it differently. I had my audience that I knew, that I understood, and I worked with
okay,
that. If you're really good, you find your market, you find your niche, and you go with that. So you could go and you could literally be selling the same thing, but you're going to have a different audience because you're selling it completely different. You have your homies and you have your people that you appeal to. So you don't have to
yeah,
gatekeep. You never really have to gatekeep. And you could do it
yeah,
together. You could collaborate because there are going to be times when you're not available, or there's times that I'm not available. And then we can, share our clientele together. We grow together, but it's so sad. Like people don't
yeah.
understand that concept.
Man,
I
I
think people are
always
so
give
used to
people,
being in without that they feel like, they gotta keep
yeah,
what they got instead of sharing.
yeah, I always give people free
Right.
game, man. I feel like that's a blessing to do, like to be able to give somebody free game, even if I can't do it at the time, to see somebody else be able to do it, it's good for me. Like it just gives me a good feeling, like I helped somebody out.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
karma, right? The good karma that comes with it.
Yeah, that too.
Hmm.
You can't buy that.
Exactly. What's up, Zach? Welcome in, brother.
That's that.
Hey, what's up? Hey,
Hey, what's
congrats on
going
the
on,
200th episode,
Zach?
man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
think you've met everyone here. This is Nichole, Zach. I think that's only and Nichole. This is Zach. He actually reached out to us last year. So he's actually from the West Coast. That's one thing I love about this
Oh,
platform is
nice.
it gives us opportunity to reach people. But he lives in California, so he's from
What's
the
up,
West
man?
Coast. But
Hey, what's
what's up,
good? What's
brother?
good?
I'm good. How's everything
And
going
he
out
likes
there? Like
cats. That's
I
cool.
heard some like stories about the West
Yep.
Coast right now, and like the
It's
fires
good.
and stuff, man.
It's
Yeah,
good.
well,
Yeah, there was some fires in LA. Sorry about that. My cat
Are you impacted at
is
all?
curious. Yeah, there were some fires in LA, but right now we're all good. I'm not near LA. I'm like 2 hours south
okay,
of LA, so the fires weren't really near me, which is pretty good. But we had fires earlier in like November that were pretty bad down by us, and we lost some of our mountain range due to those fires. But right now it's all good over here. It's
that's
finally
good to
raining,
hear.
which is pretty good. We haven't had rain in a while, but you know we're just going about our time, and yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
I'm glad you're safe, brother. I'm glad you're good.
you have any family members that were like
My,
affected? Are you from out there?
Okay. I thought I accidentally muted it.
Yeah, Nichole was asking if you have any family out there.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I completely
No, you're
I
good,
didn't
bro.
hear that. So
Okay.
I didn't think it picked up. Yeah. I'm from California. I do have family out here. I live with my mother and father's right now. As you know, financially, I am not able to live on my own, but I'm getting there. And then my grandmother and grandfather, they were from here. Unfortunately, they already passed away. And I've got some aunts and uncles out here. A couple of them have deceased. And then I do have a couple of family members over on the East Coast in North Carolina. So yeah, so North Carolina and California are the two real good spots for my family right now.
Okay.
Have any of them been impacted by what's been going on?
Yeah,
With
so
the fires and stuff.
yeah. All right, dude. Sorry about that. Yeah,
He wants all the attention.
he does. Yeah. He loves to sit on my laptop. I need to get him a
'cause it's
laptop for
warm.
himself. Yeah, him and my other cat. They love doing that. But yeah, so one of my family members was impacted by the wildfires. They were in Topanga Canyon, and that's kind of where the wildfires were. So they did have to evacuate. I'm not sure how their house did, but they're all good. Their whole family's safe and whatnot. But yeah, their family or their home, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's okay, but I haven't reached out and thought about that. But yeah, so they weren't impacted, and I don't think anyone else was impacted. So you know, my
good.
family's good. My family's safe, which is good. But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that everybody's safe and everybody's good. My aunt just recently passed, so my cousin, one of her daughters actually lives in LA. She actually works like on like movies and stuff, like production and stuff. But she had come back here obviously for the funeral stuff, but she hung around a little longer because of everything. Her boyfriend lives in like LA, but she has like a dog, so he had to go back. But she just got back over there, but she said like the air quality is just horrible because like she's like right like 10 minutes from LA. She's like right in that area. But luckily she's all right. Like and there hasn't been like any direct impact, but she just said the air quality is just horrible. Still,
Bro, I heard that they took the governor of California or whoever was in charge. It may have been the mayor or whoever. Somebody took like 200 million from the budget right before those fires happened. And I heard about that. I was like, if you honestly, I wonder what would have happened if the 200 million was in the budget. Would they have? Because I mean, we know wildfires happen in the West Coast. We know wildfires happen in LA. It's just kind of crazy how there's no contingency plans or nothing in place for that shit yet. Like it's kind of agitating because we've been through this. We've seen so many people's homes destroyed and so many lives lost from the wildfires. You would think that they would have something in place already, already prepared.
Yeah,
I
for
saw
sure.
like
Yeah, the budget in LA, I think for the fire, it was like taken down before like the fire season or something like that. And then also State Farm, they canceled a bunch of like fire protection claims on the houses in the Palisades, which was where the fires were. So yeah, that was unfortunate.
I saw like a couple of videos of this is so weird to me, but it was like they were burning the trees down, and that's what they like started the fires or something. But like, why are y'all burning trees down in the forest? Like, and then at the same time, I saw something like a couple months before the fire even started, and it was talking about LA, like turning LA into a smart city, and it's like a track record of every time they like propose that that place burns. It's not just LA, it's like across the world. Every time it's like a smart city, the place burns. I'm not
Sounds
saying
about
like
right.
conspiracy theory, but like this is a noticeable pattern.
but it's
Like
weird.
There's a couple of conspiracy theories about the fact that those fires were started on purpose.
uh, I literally
And there's a
saw
lot of
saw like
evidence behind it too. If you start digging into the research, and I
Yeah.
yo
honestly I believe in, especially because I think they have the largest homeless population as well. So they were trying to tackle that too.
yeah.
So yeah,
I saw like
it
a
Mhm.
makes sense.
video of the guy, like one of the people was like sneaking their phone and they was like blowing had a blowtorch like burning the tree down. He's like in LA burning the tree down. Whatever. Like he was like talking over the video, but he was like explaining what he was doing. And he was getting paid to do it too. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised all this happened. Like I feel like it's a shame, like
Hey,
messing up people's lives, but like come on, like you shouldn't wanna no amount of money can justify
shady.
somebody's life. Like, yeah, it's just too
Mhm.
much, man.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest though. Like, how many times does the same thing have to happen over and over again before that conspiracy theory becomes real?
Yeah.
Yep. True. A certain amount of time, if it happens like over such a long sample size, it eventually doesn't become a coincidence anymore.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
I
becomes
mean,
reality.
Shout out
you
Raul,
could
my boy.
put this in all aspects of life. You
Yeah.
know,
He
That's
said,
true, man.
"Oh, your boy, right? Yeah, it says, what's up, bro? Yeah, we have Raul right here. He said, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? Rich, facts.
No,
When Rich was
Shout
talking,
out, bro.
it's your boy.
the biggest
And then
conspiracy theory,
my boy Mike
like
said,
on my,
what's up,
oh, go
bro?
ahead, go
What's up,
ahead.
Mike?
The biggest theory that I
Yeah,
have
just
right
man.
now, like outside of like if we go into sports, um, I just want to bring this up. Like, I'm sick of the refs in Kansas City. I just hope we get a fair game
Amen.
because
Amen. Yo, somebody
I'm
call
not,
yo,
I'm not
somebody
Okay,
gonna
so
call
I
lie.
Raul
am
real quick.
I'm not a sports person, so catch me up. So what have the refs in Kansas City been doing?
If you
There's
watch
been
the
some
last
all
shady
game,
year.
cheating stuff.
if you watch the last game, if it was a fair game, I can't say for 100% that Kansas City would be going to the Super Bowl. That's how bad the ref calling is. I
no,
can it
Josh Allen clearly had a first down
Yeah.
on 4th and 1.
I told
several
y'all, man.
times he had a
He
first
did.
down. Several times.
I told y'all. I was like, man, I don't want this to happen, but I felt I had this feeling, man. This weird feeling, bro. They were gonna make sure Casey got back, bro. They
Dude, I
made
mean,
sure they.
it's
Oh.
yeah,
Did
it's
you
in our
guys see?
DNA.
Did you
You
guys
know,
see there was I think it was a documentary on Netflix involving the NBA and how the referees were getting paid under the table to mess up the game so that certain teams can win.
hmm
I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but it would be, I love documentaries. That would be interesting to see if there's like a documentary in the future about the NFL. I'm sure it does absolutely happen. But if there's like,
Yeah,
something going on.
Yeah, I think Vegas. I think Vegas and betting has a lot to do with it for sure.
Mhm.
Especially now that sports betting has been legalized in a lot of states, in most states. Back in the day, you had to kind of go to a bookie. It was kind of a taboo, very underground type of thing. Now, with like the emergence of all of the sports betting apps and all the legalization of it, I think that betting absolutely plays a factor. A
Not
lot
only
of it.
that, like
It's all money.
one of the big factors in this stuff is the refs are betting too.
Oh yeah,
You can't tell me they're not.
100%.
Yeah,
I agree.
under someone else. Yeah, under someone else, like a family member or like
The
a
players are
friend that
betting,
nobody
the
knows
refs
that
are
they have.
betting.
Yeah. Well, I
Mario,
mean,
what's up, brother?
Yeah.
Just want to acknowledge. So thanks for
hey,
joining,
what's
bro.
up, man?
Yeah, what's up, you guys? How is everyone?
Good. How are you?
Doing
I'm
well.
doing good.
Good.
Yo, Steve, congratulations,
Yeah. What's
man.
up?
200.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
know. Dude, I was saying that how fast like the last 4 years have gone by. And Marius is kind of like Rich here. He's essentially, and honestly, Dante kind of has become the same way. They're kind of like almost alternate hosts. Like they're on a lot. They're on like pretty much like almost every other episode or most episodes that we've ever had here. So they're almost like alternate hosts here to the show. I actually was telling everyone too. I did invite George in too because I was like, even though me and him don't host together anymore, I was like, he was here for the majority of the episodes. So I was like,
Yeah.
I wanted him to, if he can, kind of join in, like here as well, because for like three-fourths of the show, he's been here for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
welcome in, man. Thank you for your words, bro. I appreciate that.
Anytime, bro. Yeah, I remember taking those walks up to the Penny Pack, man, before you guys even started this thing back in 2020, man. You guys always wanted to do the show, and it finally happened. And now to see it, 4 years later at episode 200, and I wish you nothing but the best, man. I wish you nothing but success, and on to the road. Hopefully, we can get to episode 500, and hopefully, we can get to episode 1000, man. Let's roll with this.
Yeah,
man.
do it, man.
My ultimate goal is just to reach as many people as possible, have people share their stories, people come on, and I'm glad that I've been able to do that for all of you and have you guys come on. That's what makes it worth it. And then ultimately just being able to help people and reach people. Like I said, like Zach, like I would have never probably ever have met him had it not been for the show. So you know what I mean? Like I know that a lot of the people that have come on are kind of in this area, but there's been other people, it's like throughout the U.S. that like I've been able to meet because of it, and I'm just grateful.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you so much for having me on all these episodes, man. It's always been a pleasure coming on as a guest, man. You've always treated me with a lot of respect and a lot of love, man. And I've enjoyed being a part of this show, man. I've enjoyed being a part of success, and hopefully we can keep moving forward. And look what I found earlier, man. I also wanted to say thank you once again for the Locked-In Podcast, the coffee mug, man. Yeah.
That's some
we did a giveaway. We did a giveaway at one point. We like for a lot of the show. To be honest, I'll probably honestly do one this month too, since we hit episode 200. I just didn't have a lot of time to kind of plan it out for this episode, but I'll probably do one again. I just did like a contest, and then 3 people won different things. Somebody won a beach towel. Somebody won forget what the other one. I think it was a bucket hat, and then he won the tumbler. Right there, it was a Locked-In Podcast Tumblr merch. We actually have a store too on our website too, where you can kind of check out the gear and everything. But yeah, I'm happy that you won it, man. You're like an OG here, so I'm glad you were able to win it. And I promise there was no bias or fixing for him to win it, so he won it fair and square through the contest.
Yo, man, I completely agree with Marius, bro. Even though he's glazing a lot, I completely agree, bro. Like he's 100% right. Nah, for real, man. You put in the work, bro. I wish you, so much success, man. You've been nonstop work, man. It's a lot of respect. You always respect everybody who comes on the podcast, man. Just grateful to be a guest over the years, man. So I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, man, that's the goal, man. Just have people come on, share their story. And even if it's sports, we talk, we share opinions, just to be respectful of everybody, make everybody feel comfortable who come on here. And everybody's different. Like I have a lot of people that come on who just want to free flow it, right? I feel like that's the majority of people. But I have some people, it depends on the topic or what they're going to talk about. They kind of have like a script. And if they're comfortable with that, like of things that they want to kind of go down an outline of what they want to talk about, I usually just have them send it to me. And like that way I can just look at it beforehand so I know like where to follow and everything. But that's my ultimate goal, just have people come on, share opinions, be able to share their story if they're talking about their story, and just be respectful and feel comfortable. That's the ultimate goal. This past year I was going to go through like on our YouTube. I was having some trouble sharing my screen, but on the YouTube channel, when you go through the most popular episodes, last year our most popular episode was actually when and Marius and Rich know him, our friend Frank, he came on and talked about the life of a Philadelphia police officer and kind of walked us through of like how he became it and like what he kind of deals with on like a daily basis and some of his craziest stories. That was actually our most popular episode last year, within the last 12 months. That was a crazy episode. A lot of our after hour episode here are all in like the top 12. We have like 4 of our after hours episodes in there because most of those are, one of them here we have causes of infidelity in relationships, causes of complacency in relationships. And then what's another one? It says open versus traditional relationships, like different things. And I think people like those kind of like entertainment and stuff episodes So people like we always have like a mixed panel of like women and men on those ones. And I feel like people like to see those. Those are always some of our biggest requests that we get
It's
here.
funny
but,
because
those were popular.
relationship like podcasts and stuff are like number one. Everybody wants to see it, but nobody's in relationships. Like just like everybody's single, but everybody wants to watch these podcasts.
You know what it is?
It's absolutely hilarious.
You know what it is, Nicole? You know what it is, Nicole? People like to see what goes on in these episodes, and you know what they do? They justify to themselves. See, that's why I'm not in a relationship. See, that's why I'm not in a relationship.
They just like the idea of it.
You know,
it's a lot of things that go into a relationship. A lot of work, man. You know what it is? People give up a lot. I feel like a relationship is sticking with one person for a long amount of time, no matter what. You might go through a lot of stuff with them, but like make it out is an accomplishment. And a lot of people like give up, and like we live in a society where just talking about this like with one of my buddies. We live in a society where a lot of the stuff that happens in a relationship is like girls want to be people want to be cashed out and stuff, but nobody actually wants to take the time to like get to know somebody and really experience love and like loyalty and trust and build something. Like you're gonna argue with your partner, but like to make it to that next day instead of just breaking up, that's a goal that only if you see like older relationships, they'll tell you how they made it through, but like younger relationships so quick to like give up. So that's the problem today.
They get BLC, bro.
Yeah, then you gotta think like a lot of women. I'm gonna say this.
All right.
A lot of women are not. I'm not targeting women though. I'm not targeting women.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
There's only one here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna gang up on you, but a lot of women are not marriage material. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot like men are not marriage material. Men become marriage material when they find that woman that just becoming a wife for no reason. And then you gotta think about it. You might still mess up a little bit. Then you might be like, nah, I gotta get together because the woman that I'm talking to at the time is like she's doing wifey things. She's making me feel like I need to be with her for the rest of my life. And that's what changes guys. Like every guy says the same thing. So like women a lot of women don't realize that because when you talk to women, they just want to say, oh, I'm not gonna do wifey things because like a man gotta earn that. But when she takes herself out that box and like starts to do it, then that's when you get that advance in a relationship. And also like, and I know this might drive you crazy, but like women need to stop saying they're the prize because I feel like men are the prize, and then like when a man is the prize, then that man's prize become his woman. But like before that, the men is the ultimate prize because women get to choose like who they talk to, but like women get to choose who they talk to, but men get to choose when they marry them. So like it's 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 a relationship of like balance. So like men get some things, women get some things, and you come together, and that creates the balance in a relationship. So it's not all about men and women. It's about like it's about your person like on an equal playing field. It's just you give a little, you get a little type shit. So type stuff.
It's given.
But yeah, it's give and take. That's what 50-50 is. It's not about money. It's about 50-50
And there's
is a balanced
fundamentals.
relationship. Yeah.
Can I counter
Yeah,
that?
there's fundamentals.
Yeah, you could say your piece now. Like, I'm not coming for you. I'm just telling you like I'm just telling you what a lot of women don't like. I'm not sure if they realize it or not, but I promise you, almost I'm gonna say 99% of men agree. Because then you got some men that take anything, but most men with some substance agree to that. Any man you ask, because it's
Nicole
like
about to get the licks in, bro.
Yeah, I can hear her. I can hear her skin boiling, but I'm speaking facts.
I did not say anything.
Because women always have something to say about that. Like I never met a woman that just let it rock. But at the same time, when you do meet that woman that lets it rock, she's normally married or had a serious relationship with kids, and like she got a family. But women that don't have that and they always have something to say. I'm not saying you do or don't, but I'm just saying. I'm not here to attack nobody.
I'll let you counter it, Nicole.
Yeah, I'm not here to attack nobody.
Say your side, though. Say your side, though.
Go ahead.
I think the issue is nowadays there's a lot of conversation surrounding relationships and marriage. What are husband like, what's husband like material and what's wife like material, right? The whole institution of wife and husband, the marriage, is rooted in religion. It's rooted in morality. It's rooted in you guys are not just devoted to each other. You also have God in that relationship as well. Because if not, you could just be in a relationship. You don't have to get married. But marriage is an institute that was instituted by God. So you cannot pick and choose what morals you want to apply when it comes to relationships. For instance, there's a lot of issues when it comes to women not being marriage material, sleeping around, whatever the case may have. They're not submissive. They're not the prize and blah, 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 blah. But when you talk about submission, where do you get this idea that women need to be submissive? From the Bible. The Bible is what says that they are submissive. The Bible is what says that one man sleeps with one woman. But it's like, why does that only apply to women? But there's always an excuse. Well, hold on. There's always an excuse when it comes to a man not. So when it says a husband is supposed to be a provider for the household, then it's like, oh no, I can't provide for the woman. She's a gold digger. She can't depend on me. Or when it comes to loving a woman as your own body, or having one wife, fornication is wrong. Adultery is wrong. So we like to pick and choose what morals we want to apply to what gender, when the reality is they have to apply to both genders. So what you may assume is husband-like material is really not. And a lot of times, a lot of guys attract women that are like themselves. You're not going to attract a woman who has a low body count if you're sleeping around, because the woman with a low body count also wants to be with a man that has a low body count. A woman that has morals and is going to stick by her man also wants a man who has the same thing. So if you keep running across women that don't have these morals, you have to look at yourself and say, dang, wait a minute, I just cheated on her last week. Do I have the morals that I'm requiring from her? Do I have the background that I'm required, the kindness, the nurturing? Am I providing equally that same thing as a man? And a lot of the answers, a lot of times, is no. So are we holding women to a higher standard than men are holding themselves? And I think that's really the big issue. So I think a lot of people, both men and women, are not marriage material. Period. And it's not gender specific. Although we like to point the finger, we all really need to start evaluating ourselves and see what we need to fix in ourselves and what we're bringing to relationships.
Nichole put a light bulb in my head.
Amen.
Something real quick.
Go ahead, because what I'm about to say, just go ahead.
People get BLC, and when I say BLC, I say bored, lazy, and complacent. People in general. So that's why a lot of relationships don't last, because there's always going to be something. They always say things look, what's that saying, things look brighter on the other side, or whatever.
Brighter on the other side, grass is greener.
Yeah, everybody thinks the grass is greener on the side, whether they got a partner with more money, whether they got a partner who you can insert anything into the world that Instagram shows you. And most people in relationships always going to think it's a brighter, everything's brighter on the other side. So that's why I think a lot of relationships don't work out, because, the first sign of adversity, one of the two partners is like, dang, I'm looking at this relationship over here. I'm looking at this, him and his girl don't never have this issue. Or if I watch on Instagram, I don't see, and them having issues with money, but my partner got an issue with money right now. And I feel like everybody want to just move on to the next. Nobody want to put any effort into nothing no more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I would say men and women too, like they kind of have different roles in a way. Men are, I'm not saying women aren't driven, but like men are very purpose oriented, very, very purpose like driven, and women are very much known to be like nurturing, and that takes a little bit of a balance too, because there could be, but I'm just saying that that's usually how the roles are. And women can also work jobs as well, but men also, they have to still be emotionally available to their woman too. I think like that's the thing. Like people stick themselves in certain roles, and they're like, well, I don't have to do any of the other stuff either, which isn't true. So like if you're in a relationship and like you're very purpose driven, I'll just say from the man side, you're very purpose driven. You're very much on your mission. You're on your purpose in life. You're working. You're leveling up your health. You're leveling up your career. But then you're still in a relationship. You're married. You have a wife. You have kids. You can't just do that and then just say, well, I'm not going to be emotionally available to my partner either, because you do have to still be, because like the relationship still requires that. We understand like men are more usually logical and women are emotional, but like you have to still be able to speak from an emotional level too with your woman too, and be able to have conversations and communicate. But I'm just saying, like, we definitely have different roles as well. Like men are
Yeah.
very much goal oriented, purpose driven, and women usually are like even from the Bible side and everything are like the nurturing, like mothers and nurturing and she usually had his
I want to
Dante
counter
going.
that later, but I want to hear what
Wait.
Tizzy has to say.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you something, and I just want you to like take it in before you like have a rebuttal about it. But like when you talk about, I have two things. When you talk about balancing a relationship, like if you want to go back to those days, um like when you say like providers and stuff, like women like back in those times, they like tend to the kids, they cleaned the house, and they like did gardening, right? The men went out and hunted, or went out to hunt for like meats and stuff like that, and animals. They like basically took a chance on their life to bring food back. That's the providing part. So when you talk about that, it's not like women did not help provide, because if you really think about it, a woman's in the garden planting and taking up the fruits and the crops and the stuff like that. That's a lot of work that a woman does. Plus, she got to tend to the kids and clean the house, and she still goes out in the field and gets all the vegetables and stuff to bring to the table. The man's providing by grabbing the cattle or a wild deer or animal or whatever, and like gutting them out and chopping them up, bringing that to the table. And we call that providing. But like a woman does a lot too, and then she still has to tend to her husband at the end of the day. So like when women
Mm-hmm.
bring up that, they like automatically think providing is the guy just. So a guy's supposed to be a provider and work and just pay for everything. No, that's why I said in
That's
the
not what I said.
beginning, I didn't say you said that, but I'm saying that's what a lot of women say. And I said like that's the balance in the 50-50. Everybody's relationship is different. So 50-50 could mean different things in different people's relationship. But like if you take the
Mm-hmm.
basis of a relationship, 50-50 goes into whatever y'all discuss, and however y'all want to balance your household, y'all come together and you make sure it's a balance. A relationship is creating balance. So at the same time,
Yes.
the Bible, like if you look at the Bible, if you read the Bible or however, whatever you do, like
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to different women and stuff, like the men in the Bible, like especially the ones that were blessed, the disciples and stuff, a lot of them had like multiple wives and concubines. So they didn't have just one wife. Like if you look at it, like a lot of people that was favored by God had more than one wife. Like this is like in America, monogamy is really new to the world. Like in the last few hundred years. Before that, like people had multiple wives and stuff. Like monogamy is fairly new to society. Some people did it, some people didn't, but a lot of people had like polyamorous relationships. And just because you had more than one wife does not mean you had threesomes, does not mean you like had a bunch of women. You might just have like one or two other wives, or like three wives or two wives, but y'all would still operate as a one family, and y'all would handle everything the same way as a regular family does. So like that doesn't mean you sleeping with multiple women at the same time. You might have one woman you have one night, the other woman you have the other night, but you take like they all take care of the kids and stuff like that. It doesn't always like mean what the fantasy is. but like it might to some people it means more than that if you look into like stuff like that. But like if you do your research about different relationships and stuff like that, I just research a lot of stuff. But when you like really go deep into the research, you start realizing like, hey, this not all fun and games. Some people take this stuff real serious. They don't like the wives don't like kiss or nothing. He the man or whatever deals with this person this day, deals with that person that day. They all live in the same house, come together, they help out each other, they go out shopping, they do family events and trips and stuff like that. Some of them are allowed to have like side people and stuff, but that's their own relationship. But when you talk about a relationship, everybody's relationship is different. But marriage material doesn't mean like submissive all the time. Marriage material is how a woman actually treats you. You feel me? It doesn't mean, I mean, it kind of is submissive, but it's how she treats you, how she tends to you, how you tend to her, how you treat her. Like being a husband or like husband tendencies doesn't always mean like providing. It could be you might be more of emotional or more of a support in her dreams and stuff, whatever she needs. That doesn't mean like you might financially come up short, but you might have something else you could bring to the table. You might financially be there
It's a
and
partnership.
yeah, it's a partnership. It's like 50-50. That's why I like when Steve was like talking, he was saying like certain things, it's like I was like, yeah, that's cool because like it's really balanced. So whatever your relationship needs, the fact that y'all can come together and make sure that happens, that's what a relationship really is. And a lot of people, if something's falling short, the other person doesn't want to meet them. They want to leave. That's like our problem with like the society and
Yeah,
relationship. That's all I was saying. Like I
we
wasn't
need
coming
women
at
to balance us.
gender.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a
we
lot
need
of
women to
men.
balance us, and women need men to balance them. We balance each other. That's how we were made. That's why, like we say, like right, made in God's image and likeness. Like we were. That's how we were created. It's how we were made. That's why we're built to procreate, right? Not
Yeah,
everybody has kids, and that's everybody's choice. Everybody's choice.
yeah,
But like it's how we were made. And I think God is very important in relationship. Not everybody
definitely
believes in God,
is.
but I think
Yeah.
it's very important.
Yeah, like I agree when you said that because that's a big part of a relationship is having God and faith and like loyalty and trust in relationships.
So
Right.
just to kind of respond to that. So I think what I was trying to say and how it came off may have been different because the way you conveyed it back when I was talking about submission and providing, right? Those are seem to be the big hit topics, right? Of what make a
Yeah.
woman, what makes a so I wasn't saying that in a sense of what makes someone marriage material or what doesn't.
Okay.
What I
Okay.
was saying was in reference to what people are saying online about what makes a wife material or what makes a husband material. It all is rooted in the Bible and morals. So if we're going to go, it doesn't matter if it's submission, if it doesn't matter if it's love, it doesn't matter what it is. If we are assigning those to a certain gender, are we assigning those same morals to ourselves? So I wasn't like saying that,
Right.
that's what
Oh, all
makes
right.
this
I
or that was
understand.
make that. I was just making a general statement. Um,
Okay.
and as far as like the Bible, so I'm going to go. I don't want to go too preachy on here, but as far as the
I'll
Bible,
go ahead.
the first monogamous couple was Adam and Eve. Point blank, period. Because God could have
Oh
made Adam,
yeah.
Eve, Michelle, Rachel. He made Adam and Eve. So if it was God's purpose for them to originally have him to have multiple wives and that be the standard, he would have started off with mankind that way to begin with. He allowed it for a period of time. And when Jesus came, just like when Jesus came, they could start eating foods that they couldn't eat before. So in the history of Israel, they weren't allowed to eat quail and they weren't allowed to eat pork and anything like that. When Jesus came, he changed the standards. They didn't have to celebrate the Sabbath anymore. They could eat certain meats that they couldn't eat before. But with the changes also came that monogamy had to be reinstated with one man and one wife. And that's mentioned not only by him, but as by Paul as well in the
I
Greek
don't know
scripture.
about that.
So that you can read it. Look? Anything that I say,
We
please
research. Yeah,
Google,
I'll read
research.
it.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
never
you can research
smoke up
that.
anybody's
That's the only way.
behind. I
That's the
want
only
you to
way
do
we
your
learn,
own
right? We
research.
check the research.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do. But yeah, so man and wife. It is just the two of you. There was a time period where God allowed it, and then now now that's not it.
All
That's
right,
just period.
I'm just gonna say I said what I said. So
But if you don't believe me, then please do the research. But if you do the research, then
that's all you can do.
That's all
That's all you
you
can do.
That's all you can do.
And
That's
can we have
all.
another conversation later on about men are more logical and women are more emotional? Because statistically and scientifically, that is not true.
No, you know what? I don't know about that either.
Huh?
I don't know about that. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Working in the criminal justice field is one thing like I understand. Like when I can see the impulses, a lot of people in today's society go off of impulse. But like when you like take the impulse out and you mature a little bit and you go off of logic and emotions, I could literally tell you that women are a little bit more emotional than men. Now, some you have emotional men, and you have men. Men are have emotions too. But the thing is, we might act on logic over emotion sometimes, and that can save us. Like when we mature a little bit and we like start acting out on our logic, sometimes we might be super mad, and you might not get it because we're acting out on logic and we really taking the time to observe our next move. Where some women do that same thing, but the majority, I would say, a lot of women will act out on emotions. Like they might not
Yeah,
even know all the
and
facts and act out
I'd
on
also
emotions.
say, and I would also say more. I feel like society is more. Society is also doing. That's the thing too. Is what we see in front of us, right? Society is kind of turning men more into like feminine and stuff. So that's why you see like a lot of emotional men and stuff. Here's the thing too, though. Like I'm not saying it's like also like like men obviously have emotions too. There's no saying that men don't have emotions. And men absolutely do have emotions. But if you look like back in like a lot of other times, like men were also like more stoic and stuff. We're kind of getting away from that a little bit. And then I also think society is making women a little bit more masculine. They're just kind of pushing they're kind of pushing them that way.
The big issue is that we assign being emotional to certain emotions. So where we will say that a woman that is yelling and screaming is emotional, but she's more emotional, but because the man is standing still and shoots somebody in the head because he's angry, he's not yelling or screaming. He did it very silently. But you view him as less emotional because he's not expressing it. Men express their emotions less, but they feel the emotions the same. And that's not even true, because when it comes to anger, 90% of the most violent crime, and I'm not trying to come for you guys, 90% of the most violent crimes on the planet are committed by men. When it comes to the justice system, 70% of the people who are incarcerated are men. These are people who made erratic decisions that impacted not only their lives, but the lives of others due to their emotions. So how can we then, men have higher rates when it comes to car insurance because they make bad decisions when on the road. That also is statistically proven. So how can we say that women are more emotional than men when these statistics are what it is? It's just that women may cry more, they may yell more, they may express it more, but just in a different way. But both men and women are both the same when it comes to emotions, also when it comes to logic. So this myth that one is more logical emotionally than another has to change.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Not emotionally driven though, Nichole. Crime.
Say that again.
Crime or murder is not emotionally driven. Like,
really? So people that are happy shoot people.
A lot of the things
people be like, it's factors that go into things. It just happen like that. It's like other factors.
So happy people shoot people. So people just commit violent acts with no emotions behind it.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you off of suicide. I'm gonna tell you something off of suicide. Because I had to take a class for this, and that's when I realized I'm like, wow. So like when women commit suicide, it's normally pretty. They say that's the terminology they use. Well, that's in my class, but it was based on, they said pretty because like women will like slit their wrists in the shower or like take pills or stuff like that.
Men
and
use more violent ways
to die. Like they
suicide, and they commit suicide at higher rates due to.
But the violence is we like men would get it over with the quickest way just because it's like yeah more of is very like their stuff is more violent than the women, but that's like when you go to crime, a lot of crime is like committed like a guy, it's a lot of things that would stress a guy when the logic is when you're compiled with a lot of stress and stuff over and over and over again, you don't know what's happening in this person's life. So whatever happened, like if you ever heard the guy, what's his name? He has a brother. He has like a podcast. It's like a I think it starts with a S or something. Can't think of his name right now, but he was talking about like you never know when somebody might snap. Like as a man, you're going through so much stuff as a man. Like women has it have it so much easier. When you say that,
No, we
they
do not.
always say, yeah, they
Statistically,
always say
no, we do not.
they don't have it easier. But then when
Statistically,
you
we do not.
actually yeah, statistically and all that is BS because when you start talking about I'm not coming for you at all though, but when you start talking about all the benefits that a woman can get, you can't get that with no man. Like I know people that said that they are in, or I don't personally know people, but I have talked to people that said that they were in, they were basically married, but they couldn't get married on paper because they'll lose their benefits. Because like some people get so much benefits and money, they make more money than regular people, and they don't have like because they all the benefits they get, and they all they can get it because they're like single moms or single women. I
That's not
actually
gender specific. Men also get
I
benefits as
see what
well,
you're saying.
so
So
I'm not
you're
and
saying men.
so do
I'm not
single
saying
fathers.
men. I'm not saying men can't get it, but I'm saying like if you really look at it, a lot of women, a lot
Men
of
don't apply
single.
for it as much, but they can get it. They have the same access to it as women do.
not
They
as a
just choose
woman,
not
but
to as because of shame or whatever the case may have you. But yes, men have access to it as
But yeah,
not
but I mean, whatever you're saying, like I promise you, a lot of women say the same thing, and then that's why I'm saying I'm not coming for women, but like as a man,
Could it
it's
be some
super
truth to
hard.
it? That's why a lot of people are saying the same thing. And maybe we need to evaluate things
I,
differently and see things from a
I
different
mean,
perspective.
a lot of men would say that because like I know like men have tried to get some of the same things and they will get denied, but like when it comes to women, like they would get it like easier, and like if you speak to like certain people in that process, they'll be like, yeah, like we award this to women more than we do men. Like they have a
I'm
higher rate
Nicole.
of
That's
getting it than men.
Nicole.
I'm
And
just
That's
like
going to say I don't go by what people say, what people heard,
I
what
mean
I
they work.
heard. I need
I mean
statistics.
I mean
Nicole.
I need proof of
everything's
statistics.
not
Go
statistically
ahead,
right
Rich. I'm
though.
sorry.
And when you
statistically
go based on
statistically speaking,
reality.
if you want to hear about statistics, right? Statistically speaking, right? A
Mhm.
lot of the crimes that men commit are it's more men who commit violent crimes than females, correct? Statistically speaking, this is correct, right? A lot of this does what Tizzy's trying to say is like, yo, it's tied to social economic status because most crimes happen because of social economic status. So
Yeah,
a lot of men feel like they have to go out, and if they're not getting what they need to get, you got to understand that,
you gotta
especially in
take it.
the hood, especially in the ghetto or somewhere where a lot of these men are raised or don't have their fathers in their lives, and the only person giving them things for Christmas or giving them things for the holidays is a drug dealer. Well, then you're more likely to grow up to be a drug dealer, and you're more
Mhm.
likely drug dealing is about territory. It's not about emotions. It's about territory, right? A lot of the crimes that men commit have to do with economic status, have to do with going out and getting. Men are naturally ambitious, right? So if we're not reaching a certain point that we think we should be at, you know, most 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 of the time men are going to take it to another level to get what they need to get. That's just how we're programmed.
Can
And
we
so
And,
acknowledge that that is
and
still
that's where
rooted in
you
emotion?
and that's where you get like 50 Cent saying, I'm gonna get rich or die trying. Like when he said that at that state of mind, and not just him, so many other people I actually can like growing up in the Philadelphia, I actually saw people like men in that same position as I gotta do this or I'm gonna die trying. And some people
Right.
unfortunately died, and some
Um,
people did what they did, and some
got
people, you know, some people like
We
got
have
past that life and build a better life for themselves. But like, I feel like men feel
we
like
have
we
some
still gotta
comments. I
prove
just
it to
want to read.
people. Say that
Yeah, go
again.
ahead.
I'm
Read the
just gonna read some
comments.
quick comments
All
from
right, go ahead.
Facebook, but some of these have been going on for like over a half hour. Though, so I don't know what parts of the conversation they all related to. So my boy Ray, and then I'll say my boy Frank at the end here because he was at the
Yeah.
very beginning. Frank, so it's Ray said corruption over human life. That's the name of the game. He said Nicole. He said I agree with Nicole. Amen. So true. And then said God comes first in a relationship. And then George said would not let me get in. LOL. So
Sure.
I'm here. And then put the clap thing. And then my buddy Frank at the beginning when we were talking about gatekeeping and stuff. He said you can find resources to get college credit for free. For example, there are many things you can do if you look around without having to pay. But people make you think you have to pay for too many things out there. Not enough people take advantage of what's publicly available. So that was Frank Fuller, and then my boy Ray Slemmer, and then George wrote in too. But that's on Facebook. I can't put, unfortunately, with these platforms anymore. Meta and Facebook have really made things strict where I can't put the comments up on the screen. Only YouTube here, but just trying to monitor that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you can keep going if you want, bro.
No, that's okay. I acknowledge all of that. And don't get me wrong, I am a huge advocate for men's mental health. I am a huge advocate for diversity. I'm a huge advocate for mental health in general, right? And I'm not on here to try to bash men. I really want the conversation to start gearing towards self-awareness. And I think a lot of things, again, because we view emotions as a feminine thing, that we don't acknowledge what actions that we have that are rooted in emotion. So we cannot change the behaviors that we're doing, male or female, if we don't understand what's rooted behind it. And I do
I agree with
understand that there are economic situations that cause people to act a certain way. But the reality is those economic situations cause you to feel desperate, hopeless, angry, lost, fear for your family, fear that you're not going to be able to provide. And that is what propels you into doing something that will put your life or someone else's life or your family's life in jeopardy. So it is all still rooted in emotion because you can choose another option. Even if you feel like there's no other option, sometimes your emotions is what keeps you from making a better decision. And until we start acknowledging that men are making bad decisions and women, even too, are making bad decisions based on emotions that they're not handling, such as having higher suicide rates because they're depressed, because they were neglected as children, because they're dealing with abandonment issues. Until we address those issues, we can't move forward. If we can't acknowledge that they're angry, that they're hurt, that they're sad.
Some of that is not emotions, though, Nicole. So a lot of that
That is
is
emotion.
mental
It's
health.
anger, not
A
what
lot
is
of
not
that
emotion.
is so many
What is
factors
not an
that
emotion?
you're not mentioning. Mental health being one of the biggest factors that you're completely ignoring. It's not all emotional based. Men, some of it is greed based. You know, some people, a lot of men
Grief
commit
is
crimes.
an emotion.
Greed.
Grief
I'll
is
actually
an
say it this
emotion.
way.
Emotions are not
I'll actually
always.
say it this way.
Grief is an
Yeah, I was gonna
emotion.
say men and women both
Can
have.
we acknowledge that grief is an emotion? You said it's grief based, right?
Yeah,
Greed.
I'll put it this way. I think men and women both have emotion, right? But I think women are more emotionally expressive than men are. Like men are taught from like an early age to kind of put all that down, not talk about their emotions. So that's I think what it ultimately comes down to. I think women are more emotionally expressive than men. I think that's
Okay. So
ultimately.
when a man gets mad and punches somebody because he's angry, is that
Men do
not
get
being
mad. Men
emotional?
do get mad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
but
men
you
if
know
do get
what?
mad.
when a man punches the TV because he's mad because his team lost,
You want to
is
know
that not
something?
an emotional thing? Like, is that not emotionally expressive?
I tell you about men though
But I
when it
would say
comes to
most men
emotions.
don't do that. You know, some men might do
We
that, but not
could
most men don't do that. Punch a
let me
TV.
let me tell you something. Men could
I'm not saying
like
that all men do it. I'm just saying there are ways that it
Some
comes
do,
out
yeah.
in
I mean yeah
aggression,
they do.
right?
But
But we don't classify aggression as being emotional. And that's an issue. We don't classify a man being depressed or having an attitude as being emotional. But it's only emotional when a woman does it. We have to stop gender specifying
I mean,
emotions.
you
They
also
are
gotta
what they are.
understand. Some people look at like the way a man carries himself and shows his emotion. It could be a form of strongness or a weakness. And when it comes to like fighting or something like that, like I like all every guy in this chat might can like understand what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you can't either, but like men will like get into a fight and be cool the next day. Like women, like you ever see women fight, they would never be cool again. For the most part, most majority of women will not be cool again. Now, some women will, is rare, but a lot of women would not be cool. Like they could be the closest friends. They get into one crazy fight, they will never be cool again.
I know men that do the same thing. I don't understand the.
Yeah, but then when like other men will look at them and be like they act like a female. That's what men would actually say. If you can't
I
get
don't
cool
think
with your
so.
friend, then we look
I've
at
been
you
around
like
a lot of men in my
different.
life who have
Bro,
fought and never talked again,
I mean,
I've,
if
and
you
that is
you met,
okay.
I've
but if you
literally
met men
gotten
like
into
that,
fights
we
with
look at
dudes with
you.
no emotion. Like, yo, what's up? You trying to rumble? Like, literally, you trying to rumble? You trying to rumble? Yeah, like off of somebody bumping into me and
Yeah,
somebody saying, okay, like that's just what it is with dudes. Sometimes dudes, a lot of men since the beginning of time have killed each other for resources,
And
for
you think
money,
that
and
is
that
normal?
none of that is
I
emotional,
mean,
though,
we're
Nicole.
doing
That's
that
all
right
I'm like
now too.
trying to say.
I think it is and I'm just going to leave it at this because it's going to be one of those things we're going to have to agree to or disagree on, right? But I think it is a disservice to especially our community and to our genders, period, for this to continue and for men to not acknowledge the emotions. Because again, if you keep saying that you have no emotions, this is why men don't go
Nobody
and
said
get
that.
treated for. You did because you said
No,
multiple times a
I
lot of
didn't.
things
I
that we
said
do
a
are
lot of
not
the things.
rooted in emotions, right? That's what you said.
No,
No, you
I'm
said
saying
that.
that I've had a lot of men have a lot of violent encounters, and it's not emotionally based. That's what I was saying. I wasn't
There's
saying men don't
no
have
way that
emotions.
that is possible.
No
Now
one
there are
said
some who are psychotic. There are some who are literally psychos who literally feel no emotions.
but
I
not
get
He
that.
everybody
That
with
I
mental health issues is psychotic though, Nicole.
he's
Some
I
basically
didn't say
saying
that
like sometimes people
everyone
make bad
who
decisions
is
based on
violent is not
emotion.
mentally psychotic. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's no that is a scenario. If someone can physically harm someone else and have no emotions behind it, that person is psychotic. That is what I'm saying.
That's I
There's
wouldn't even
no
say
way
that's
that someone
true.
can be violent towards another person and not feel any emotions unless they are a
And
psychopath or a sociopath. That's
and
it.
that's why we say that. That's why when Steph said that so women are more emotion has have more emotion than men and like show their emotions more. That's what he meant because men can do stuff and not feel any emotion towards it. Like like you could bring up sex for instance. A lot of times women will have emotions after sex, but like men cannot feel anything. I had a friend today told me that he had sex with a beautiful woman that treated him right, but she had like a little baggage to her. He said, "I just wanted to hit, and that was it." And a lot of men can do that, but then for her, on the flip side, she had some type of emotion after the sex, and she like try to like continue on whatever they were going through. But
there was a
that's just
there
a
was a
that's just
conversation
a
about that recently, right? So women can do the same thing, right? Here's what happens.
you.
Men
They
don't
say
just
that, but it
here's the thing.
doesn't.
Can I talk? Men do things to get women emotionally involved to get them in bed. Because let's be real, you can go buy a hooker if you want to just get somebody on the first night. Usually, to get a woman in bed, you have to romance her. You have to tell her sweet nothings. Oh, I really like you. You meet the family. You hug her. You tell her she's the best thing ever. You have this friendship. You talk to her before. They come to you, right, as your homie. Oh, yeah, I just smashed her one night. But they don't tell you what happens before they get that girl in bed, right? And then when the girl wants to continue something, then they make it seem like, oh, she's just crazy. It was just a one thing. I just hit it. That's what usually happens. You know, you've probably done it. You've had friends that have probably done it. That have
Because
run game, right? Right?
that's the
Run game,
emotion part
got her in
that
her emotions,
men
and
talk
then
about.
tried to make her seem like the crazy one.
I mean, that's the emotion part that men talk about, and like all men don't have to do that, but like for like men that have done that or did that before,
Men do that
sometimes
a
men
lot.
would say whatever they have to say to get their goal, but once they get their goal, they don't want to, because some women don't want to feel like they don't want to like just have that one night stand, so you might have to like talk
So
to
you
them or whatever.
emotionally manipulate women, and then when you emotionally manipulate women and they react, then women are more emotional?
I mean,
Or is
not
it just human
necessarily.
nature because you got
Some
played
guys
and you
take
intended to
different
present it as
steps.
something that you weren't?
I'm just basing off the scenario you just gave. Like every
My boy,
guy doesn't have to do that. Like some men could just talk to a girl and say, "Hey, I want to have sex," and then
That
they'll have
usually does
sex.
not happen.
And, I mean, it
That's
happens more
not a
often than you
regular thing.
think.
And when it does, the woman is usually down and she moves on with her life. The situations where women start being emotional, as you quote unquote say, there's usually something behind that.
I
But we
don't know.
don't have those conversations.
I have heard men say, and I have also experienced this, and I know for a fact that some guys in this chat might have experienced this too, where they had talked to a woman and like actually made a deal of only talking to a woman for one night, and after that the woman would
I,
like hit him up and say like, "Hey, I want to keep this going." Like this happens, and a guy will not feel emotion. I'm not saying guys don't are not manipulative. I'm not saying women are not manipulated, whatever
oh,
it is. I'm eating too, but I'm just saying like it's just I feel like the emotion when guys express their emotions and when women express their emotions is different, because sometimes men can
I
be
think
emotionless like for a long time.
They
like
can
a
be
robot.
unempathetic.
A
Go ahead,
robot.
No, cause see,
Spencer.
men have this thing where they go numb. That's basically what it's saying. Like when
That's
they, like you could just
everybody.
go numb, and
That's
it's like
everybody.
yeah, but
I just
like
I think people.
think it's
men
this
go
gender
numb
war, gender
from
specific. I don't think you men know enough about women to make these assumptions
nah.
about
I You know
what women are more capable of and what men are more.
I
A
have
lot of you
talked
don't.
to emotionally like when you're emotionally what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to just say educated. Like when you're in touch with your emotions and you can express them, and you know how you feel, and you talk to women and men with
Self-aware.
the same type of like they know they could tap into their emotions and they could really have a real conversation with you about this stuff. And they admit, like when I had heard women say, "Yeah, you're right," and then they'll go deeper into it. And then I heard men say the same thing. I know for a fact that there's some women that run game on men and have them feeling some type of way. Like women could cry and lie at the same time. I saw that for a fact.
I think that.
So
Yeah, I think you both.
it's
I was gonna
different
say I think
factors
you
in
both
different
bring valid
scenarios.
points. I don't want it to get like crazy, but I'm just saying I think you both bring like valid points. I just like, and I just pulled up like a couple studies. It's just one thing, and that's the thing. Studies are kind of there's all different research, right? I just went off
Yeah.
of a reputable source. This is the National Library of Medicine, and it just kind of goes back to kind of what I was saying. It says. And it kind of agrees with some of the things Nichole says as well, and Dante here.
I'm not
All it
saying
says
nobody's
is
right or wrong.
yeah, it says in several research studies, meta-analysis, it says it shows that women show greater overall emotion. However, men are known for expressing greater levels of aggression and anger, while women are known to more internalize negative emotions such as sadness and anxiety. So it does kind of go to the point of levels of aggression. We kind of express them sometimes in different ways, but I do think men are taught also from a very young age to kind of suppress emotion, right? Like it's kind of how it's been. So we're sometimes just not as expressive on it.
Even
But
that whole sentence
it's
right there. Men show more aggression, though women are more emotional. It's the same thing. But that's
Yeah, but
okay.
like
I'm going
yeah, and
to
they
shut
say
up now.
women also
you ever heard this
yeah, they
saying
also
like
say women are often known to internalize negative emotions such as sadness and anxiety more than men are.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because when
So
men like
it's
are mad, you could like you even if he doesn't say nothing, you could tell a man's mad. Where if a woman's mad, sometimes
mhm.
you know if you know your woman, you know she's mad. But if you don't know the chick, you wouldn't know she's actually mad. You feel me? Like you might not know.
Right, my boy raising Nicole's corner. He says Nicole's spot on. George said, and clients too. Rich drug dealing is about resources too. I think he's referring to the socioeconomic comment you made earlier.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
with Nicole,
I'm not saying I don't totally like. I feel like when Nicole says she makes valid points, and I feel like when I say I make valid points, you could look at it both ways, but I feel like talking to men and being in the in the space where I work with men that had like that's all they knew all their life. I noticed like different like traits that they all have in common, and I noticed different things. Even women, I work with women and men in the scene, and like I'm gonna say in a justice system, and when you work with them, you start noticing different things. Like I could tell women got certain traits in this, men got certain traits in this, and then when you take it and apply it to real life, and I started noticing people, like how people act, in general, and that's why I said I feel like in today's society, a lot of people just go off of impulse and not like their emotion and logic is like something that people need to learn more of before they make decisions. Because if you ask anybody that went to jail and did a lot of time, most of the time they'll say their decision that they made cost them years of their life, but the decision only took less than 5 minutes, and that's based off of the impulse and however somebody made them feel or however they were perceived. Like some people didn't want to be perceived as a bitch, or somebody didn't want to be perceived as somebody you could take advantage of, or they might have needed something in like you ever saw the movie with Denzel and his kid needed something, and so he went into the hospital, and like some people base stuff off of family and stuff like that. A lot of women go to jail over different stuff, but it's all similar. But like men go to jail over stuff that they was trying to provide. Like a lot of men went to jail over providing or social status. A lot of women went to jail over a man or sometimes providing. Like that's just like the majority that I get from just working in that field. But
so statistically speaking, you're saying most men are in jail because they were trying to provide for the families. Is that what you're saying?
not necessarily their family. Like a lot of men go to jail is for robbery, stealing, selling drugs, and unfortunately, murder is considered like if you're selling drugs and it's territorial, you might have to do something to somebody because you got somebody else trying to provide for their family and get the same stuff. So now you at a war. Yeah, that's how you get your gangs and stuff because it's territorial.
Most people I've ever known that have ever been like, because I know a few people that have been in jail who've been like, for burglary, theft, different things, but like changed their turn their life around. But a lot of it comes from like, I kind of like, I think like the side Rich was saying, like, I'm not saying murder or anything like that, but I'm saying like that type of violent crimes. But I'm just saying like, theft or like burglary or drug dealing. It comes from like all they've kind of ever known, right? Like not having like a father figure like around or anybody, like kind of comes from their socioeconomic status. It might have just been all they've ever known. That's not an excuse by any means, but that's just like trauma that they've been around, all they've ever seen. I think that's a little bit of a different route. George said to Nicole, good point on the issues with mental health. Some of it's emotion, some of it's trauma based on emotionally based trauma of how they were raised. And then he said, talk one at a time, ladies and gents. Oh, yeah. George, hop on the podcast. Why are you watching the comment, man? You have to hop on.
And I mean, Nicole makes a valid point when it comes to the mental health. A lot of people don't tap into their mental health, and I know like once you really start thinking, like as I got older and matured a little bit, I started thinking about my mental health and like where did some of the things that I have a problem with stimulate from, and like what type of things. And I actually had my younger brother like committed suicide last year in January, and but it really made me think about a lot of different stuff, like because I like some of the things he would talk about and stuff was like things that happened when we were kids, and it was like we didn't really have any control over like certain things because we were kids. And it's like I told him like sometimes you just need to let some stuff go. Like when it came to like hanging out or going certain places, I'm like, yo, we were too young to make those decisions. So like you can't really, you can't really like be mad at other people because you weren't able to do certain things. But then like as you get older, you got to see how that affects you as an older person. And like I know every kid has something they really wanted that they might not gotten, but at the same time, how did that affect you growing up as a person? Did you ever get that as you got older? Or did you ever want your kid to have it? Maybe your kid doesn't want that. Like, because I know for like some parents, they might force their kid to do something that the kid doesn't want to do based on they wanted to do it as a kid. So like that's a form of like mental health. And how does like whatever you're going through now, whatever, how does that affect you and your state now, and how would you progress? So like I know I heard a lot of people say you need to talk to people or go to counseling and or a therapist, and like like talking to people really helps. Like even if it's just a close friend, like talking to people really helps. Like I talk to like Steve sometimes. We talk on the phone for hours about things that's on our mind, and it's like a release. So being emotionally tapped into yourself is really important, and that's all ties into mental health. So
Right.
and
No,
some
but
people don't have nobody to talk to. So that's a
let me say something because I my background, just like you, Tizzy, criminal justice. Right
yeah,
now, I'm about to get my master's for marriage and family therapy. So I'm not
that's
just
cool.
talking. I'm not just talking when I say a lot of the mental health aspect is ignored, especially with men. Is a stigma in the black, especially black and Hispanic communities about men speaking up about mental health. Right there, it's always seen as something's wrong with you if you go to a therapist, if you go to a counselor. So, on in that way, but it's it's a lot of people in the communities that are chemically imbalanced because of their diet. It's a lot of people who in the communities are chemically imbalanced because of drugs, and all that stuff affects the way. I know it may seem emotional because a guy punching the TV may come off as okay, this dude's angry in the time being, but what are some of the things that he has not been diagnosed with mental health wise that we're ignoring? And that's some of the thing, because punching a TV because you're angry is not normal behavior. So I'm just that's my only point, Nicole, and disagreeing with you. You have a lot of good points. A lot of men are good at are better at hiding their emotions, even though they may be feeling emotional. But my only point was when it comes to the crime aspect and when it comes to the violence aspect, um, a lot of the mental health in terms of chemical imbalances and things of that nature, medications, a lot of these things are ignored. And when you know I'm just being honest about that part. I just feel like I've seen a lot of men who've gotten into physical altercations, including myself, and I haven't felt anything for I haven't felt because it's just seen as a normal thing, or it's
Yeah.
some of it has to do with culture. Some of it has to do with stigma, that the expectations that are put on men from a societal aspect. And so a lot of men feel like, okay, this is what men do. We fight, and then it's not necessarily emotion attached behind that. If this person has what I want, I'm going to take it. Sometimes that's how it is with crime. So that's all I'm saying. Is that um and yeah, that's all I was saying. That was my point.
Yeah, like if you call, let's say like somebody call somebody a regulatory name, like that guy might feel compelled to like fight afterward, even though he might not really actually care about it, but he's like, I gotta fight because if I don't fight, this is what it looks like.
I'm gonna look like it. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I said. Like sometimes it has to do
it's
with
crazy.
social status and stuff.
I was
Then
gonna
you got
say it's crazy. I didn't think the episode. It's crazy. I never would have thought the episode would have. This has been a good discussion, to be honest. It's been good.
yeah.
I don't think there's like any crazy right or wrong points in it. It's kind of been a nice
I don't
back
think
and forth.
nobody's right
I
or
didn't really
wrong.
think that. I didn't know the episode would kind of take a turn here. I think I think it started when I was going through like the after hours episodes because we were talking about like relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been a good discussion.
Anytime you talk about relationships and like women against like not against men but women and men, like that's why I say like I don't I don't like say it's the thing about women and men. I feel like it's about finding balance in whoever you're talking to. It's not about stuff because everybody's relationship is different. So
100%.
but when it comes to like
100%. We
when
need
it
a
comes
good
to like
balance of watching emotion on both sides because there's good emotion too. There's good emotion too. Emotion's healthy, to be honest. You know, it's
but
healthy.
yeah, when it comes to like women and stuff, like when you tell women certain things, they like when you tell women about like the job market or the stuff for like against like men and women, they automatically feel like men got it easier, but men always gonna say, but women got it easier because like if I wanted to get into the restaurant business, like this is a fact that I just literally discussed today with my cousin. We were talking about working in like a restaurant, and he was like, "Bro, they not gonna hire no man in that restaurant because they only hire women. Because when guys come to the restaurant, the women they're they think that they're going to spend more money, so they hire only women. So like that's a lot of jobs. Like when you talk about like stores and stuff. I'm not saying men don't get hired for that job, but like they want to hire more more like women. So like that's when like we was talking about like the economic factor and stuff. There's a whole bunch of things that factor into this. And I feel like when you talked about like the programs and stuff, sometimes people are not aware of what's going on too. But then some people it might be harder. But then like when you talk about the mental health, I feel like the mental health is like an important thing like in everybody's community to talk about and to be more aware of because people are not emotionally smart like with their stuff. I'm not saying they're dumb, but they're not tapped in with their stuff and their emotions. So I feel like we made like a lot of valid points tonight. Congratulations for that 200 episode, man. I've been supporting your podcast. We came a long way, just looking at it, me hopping on it a couple of times, hosting it, coming in as a guest, meeting people, getting information that I did not know, learning information, exchanging information. Like I feel like it's very informative. What I gotta say about that is, man, I hope the Eagles win. You know, Detroit get you, but yeah, man, it's been
Yep.
great. It's been great. Nichole, you gave me some information. Hopefully, I gave you some information. I got your opinion and your point of view, and I appreciate it. You know, 'cause you made some valid points. I feel like everybody on the podcast tonight made some valid points in their opinions.
It was a good conversation.
That's all we can. Yeah, that's all we can do is exchange info, right? Like to kind of have each other see each other's side. So yeah, I think it was a good conversation. You know, we have some research that we could all do. You know what I mean? On both sides, we give each other information, and then we can sit there and sit with it, and that's all it can be. You know, that's nothing personal. You know, everybody has their thoughts, and everybody has the conversation. I respect you, Nichole, for coming on, and there's like 5 guys here, so I mean you could, but I mean not everybody was going, but I was like you were in a conversation here. I respect it. I completely respect you.
No,
like
it's
for that.
no problem whatsoever. I
My boy Ray said he agrees with you 100%.
my push is for, again, mental health,
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
a more collaborative future, especially between men and women. There are a lot of assumptions on both sides, and a lot of people, I can even be included in that, are stuck in what they think majority of men are and what majority of women are. And the fact of the matter is, we have not met. Nobody on this podcast has met majority men or majority of women, right? So I think conversations really need to be had on letting people be individual people. The same way we don't want someone to judge and or assign certain personality traits to us based on our race. We don't want to do the same thing when it comes to our gender. And I think it would be really beneficial for everyone, both men and women, to do research on the opposite sex. I mean, really do research and not just to verify our own biases. I mean, really delve in and look at what affects the other gender, what societal effects affects them, what mental health issues that they're dealing with, what have they dealt with in society systemically, historically, that causes them to act this way or have these personality traits. I read there's a book that a couple wrote actually. There's two of them. There's one that's for women, that's what it's called, and then there's another book that's called for men. And there were things I learned about myself that I didn't realize that why I have certain personality traits or why I think or feel a certain way. But I really think we need to learn a little bit more about each other and come together more. We don't have all the answers. We're not going to fix everything on this podcast. We're not going to fix, but we can do what we can do and just do better.
Yeah, that's why it's like it's important to like focus on the people that you actually know and grow with them because everybody's different, like you said. So like based on like let's say you're dating whoever you're dating, that's where that balance comes from because you don't know like everything doesn't apply to everybody. You feel me? Everybody's different, so like that's when you like focus on the individuals that you interact with on a daily, and you'll be cool because that's their circle and that's how you live your life. Now, I was not attacking any women. I don't want you to feel like you were being attacked or anything. I feel like our conversation was cool, and we both got different sides and different aspects that we may or may not have known. And some things a lot of men feel, some things a lot of women feel, and it's cool that we can actually talk about things and like we could get the other side too, just to like that's how you grow. You feel me? You might not understand why women do something, but now you understand because this is why this what they actually feel. You might not like vice versa with the men. So I feel like I think one of our a podcast that we should do it should be like a panel with men and women, and we can actually talk further about like men and women and mental health and like relationships. I feel like that'd be a good
Coming,
another
coming
podcast.
together. Can we change the conversation from when men versus women and change it to something more collaborative, where the goal is to come to common ground? I feel like that is what's missing now because everybody likes to see the versus battle, right? The me versus you versus what plans are we
Yeah,
making
I meant like a
as
collective
people to come together?
conversation. Yeah,
Even if we
Yeah,
do
I
research
agree with
before the
you there
podcast.
because well,
yeah. It's not really a versus thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
like
Just a
No, I'm
conversation.
not saying us.
yep,
I'm just saying in general. Like, make that be the goal of the podcast specifically. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think common ground is actually a
exactly. Like I
good
said,
like topic. Like for me, common ground is a good like.
it is a good thing. Because like I said, men need women, women need men. We're biologically programmed for each other. It's good for us to understand more about each other and be able to kind of come together on some common ground.
Zach and
But it
Mario,
was a
y'all
good
been real
conversation.
quiet. Y'all been watching this go back and forth. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all
Hey,
letting me
observing.
stay
I took
out of it.
Hey, I'm
Hey,
just
I don't want to
observing.
dig
I'm like,
myself.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't want
just
to dig too deep
observing.
hole.
I'm just observing, just letting you guys kind of go at it. Both of you guys making some fantastic points, and it creates for a really, really good discussion. And Steve, I think this is going to be a good gateway, man, to have in the next after hours, bro. I think we should definitely set it up with, we have the men on one side and the women on one side, and
Oh
come
no.
together and
That's the
let
way I
our,
did. By the end, we all come
Wasn't
together.
supposed to do.
Yes,
exactly,
and hug
yeah,
it out. God darn it.
Nicole just
yeah.
said I'm not into that.
Oh no, no, I didn't mean it like
No,
that. No, 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 no.
Because it's gonna be 10 of y'all and one of me just sitting here.
Oh, no.
nah, we not gonna do that to you. We
Nah,
gonna have some
Fighting a
women on the
hug.
podcast too, because
we
like
a lot of the women who have been on here, I was going to say a lot of the women who have been on here, they a lot of them it was just kind of conflicting tonight for them to come on. So I was hoping to maybe get one or two more people on here that were women, but we just actually
you
my
wanna
friend Layla just came on 2 weeks ago. did a mental health episode. So it is a lot of men that come on here. To be honest, it's more majority that, I'll be honest. But we do have like women too, and usually with the after hours one, we really strive to have a mixed panel, like a lot. And
No,
for like I think the last one we had, it was very even.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
can I
really
just
used
make
to
a,
asking George. I'm so used to this. Like I've had these conversations over and over. Majority of my friends have been guys. And George, like I said, George knows. So this is a conversation that's happened over and over again.
Now,
But
I do say one thing. Oh, my fault.
go ahead.
It's
I do
almost
say
like I was
one
just
thing,
gonna
like,
say, it's almost like the five brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All the time.
If you don't mind me asking, like, what's your age group?
I'm 55 to 100. No, I'm 32. 33. I'm sorry, 33. Now I'm lying.
Now,
I'm 33.
I do say, like, it's a difference in younger, like, middle age and older women. It's definitely a difference. You know what? Yeah, it's definitely a difference. Like in talking, and it's the same with men, depending on like their maturity level. So it's definitely a difference in that.
I don't think it so much has to do with maturity level. I think it has to do with the fact that some of them grew up on social media and some didn't. I feel like social media is the problem to everything.
Ugh. That instant
That's a
gratification. That's
valid
something I
point
wanted to
too.
mention
That's true.
earlier. That instant gratification has
Yep.
spilled over into every aspect of people's lives, from relationships to their work environment.
Yep.
Like people don't want to work at certain jobs because they don't want to get paid $15 an hour, but they want to jump right to $30 an hour. It's like you got to work your way up. You're only 17. What you mean you don't want the $15 an hour?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like agree with that, just because like if you like one thing that I noticed in today's society is like and this is like from working in like government stuff. A lot of older people might have had a house or some type of setup when they were younger. I mean, like they got at a younger age and family and all that, and then they had stuff as they got older, and they like, why are the young people like still living at home?
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff? But the like,
Generational wealth. You mean?
Yeah, but not necessarily like based on a basic level, even on a basic level, middle class or whatever. It's just like
George has some comments.
In today's world, it's like the price of everything went up, but the
wages
paycheck stayed the same. Like, so we're not making more, but we're paying more for everything. So like it's harder to live right now.
Yeah, the cost of living is ridiculous.
All time high.
Wages have gone up like this. Cost of living is going up like that.
Yeah. I saw that graph. That graph was crazy.
Like,
don't even out.
I worked a job one time where I needed the degree to work at, and I was only making $15 an hour. And I say this all the time. My younger brother, like high school, was making $20 an hour at Target, while I'm working for a company making $15 an hour, and I needed a degree to work there. Like, what did I go to school for if I could have just worked at Target in high school or out of high school for 20?
You're right.
So it's like, what am I doing for? And then that's when you get a lot of people saying, man, I'm not about to work at a job or corporate to make the same, like make under the amount that somebody working at Walmart or Target makes. So some people quit.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. Your ceiling.
I mean, Walmart.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Your ceiling at the corporate job will be higher than the person who's working at Target. But the problem is the entry level for a lot of these jobs now is becoming lower. You're correct. And the problem is people got student loans to pay. People got stuck with these student loans and different things to pay and other bills to pay. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
It takes time to work your way up to those levels. It's like,
and it's not guaranteed you're going to get to that level.
It's
not
true.
guaranteed. It's a lot.
That's very true. George has some comments here. He said, "Let me be clear. Men show more aggressive behavior and ego, even bravado, and more." He said, "More as a chance to prove themselves." He's like, "That's a lot more common." He's like, "Women showcase and express emotional traits in a different way. By nature, they are more prone to show their emotions, and men are more prone to hide them." better. And then he said, I told him, because I said, why aren't you coming on the thing? He's like, too busy being at G. He's like, just
Oh
kidding.
my god.
Besides, it's not
Shut up,
letting me.
George.
It's it's not letting me. He's like, it's not letting me join. And then he said, Nichole, show your face, girl. LOL. Just kidding.
No, I just got off work. I'm exhausted. I had homework to do. Look at here. No. I got
Steve, my
bags
man's
under
just
my
doing
eyes.
cheap things, bro.
I'll
Comedy
come
of
on
the
next
night.
time.
Looks like Dante, let George kick Dante out, and I'm just playing. Well, no, that
There
was
you go. Next spot open up for him, man.
I did it. I kicked them out.
Don't kick me
that
out.
was a good episode. I didn't expect it to kind of turn that way, but
Rich,
it was
you next.
that was
Zach and Mario, y'all can stay.
All right, I feel like one of the lucky ones.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're just observing.
Can I just make a quick point real quick to the conversation that Tizzy, Rich, and Nichole had about the mental health aspect, man. I was just gonna say, man, bro, some people, man, are just too afraid to open up, dude. They're embarrassed to ask for help, man. I've actually noticed this, like in real life. Like when somebody's going through something, man, it's difficult for them to ask for help or anything like that because, for fear of being judged by somebody else. And I think that's like a stigma that, we also have to correct in society or whatnot, where we have to like allow people to let them know, like, hey, it's okay to, to talk to people, to talk about the things that you're going through, because if you just bottle it up the whole time, nothing good's ever going to happen for you. So I think that's a huge aspect of the mental health of it as well, because some people are just very, very afraid to open up. They're just embarrassed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
And me and Layla just talked about 2 weeks ago, the mental health episode. I think anybody can benefit from therapy. I don't care how good your life's going. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care if you don't have any super deep trauma. You can benefit from therapy. And I'm always transparent with everyone on here. I was like, even recently this year, like I started just talking to somebody, on a bi-weekly basis, just because like they're a neutral party. They're not somebody who knows me. They're not going to, like, there's certain areas in my life that I want to be better in. I'm on the professional side, and I'm just like, hey, let me talk to someone about it. They're not going to be biased. They're not going to bullshit me because they know me. They're gonna say it straight up because they're a neutral third party. I think anybody can benefit from therapy, to be honest. And I think that more people are afraid. I'll be honest. I was a little nervous going into therapy like the first time because I'm like, I don't know what to expect. And it's raw and it's vulnerable, but I think anybody can benefit from it, and having someone to talk to. We need to kind of release that stigma a little bit that surrounds men's mental health. That's a good point, Mario.
One thing I do want to just say to what Mario said, to what you guys said, to what everybody's saying about mental health, it's easier said than done. So it's easier, like, it's different for an autistic person to open up than someone who's not autistic. It's different for a bipolar person to open up than someone. It's different for a person who has intermittent explosive disorder to open up than somebody who doesn't. So I mean, it's easier to say that, oh, you gotta open up, oh, you gotta do it, but it's the main battle is that, like, a lot of people who have these things, it's already stigmas on all of these mental health challenges. It's already stigmas. So I think that's a big battle in our society is you know, allowing
So
listen, it's okay to be bipolar. It's okay to be autistic. I think that's a big battle in our
We as a society got to be better. Yeah, we as a society got to be better. That's what it ultimately comes down to, I think.
So
Stop
since there's
judging
a bunch of
people.
men on
And
this panel, I have a question. So, you know how men think and feel. So, what is the first step in getting men to deprogram this ideology that emotions or showing emotions is a bad thing and or opening up about mental health is a bad thing? What is the first step in getting men to actually open up?
It's not just men, Nicole. You just said you didn't
No,
want
no,
this
no,
to
no,
be
no.
a
I'm
woman.
not saying it's just men. I'm not saying it's just men. But what you said is what we had the conversation about is that men are not, it's an issue more so for men because it's not being addressed because they feel as though they don't have an open space in order to do so. So I'm not saying that men are the only ones. I'm highlighting men so that we can start finding solutions. So I'm not finger pointing, I'm trying to help. So I'm trying to open a dialogue and saying, how do we help men be more open and talk about the mental health issues that they're having? What do they need? What do you feel as though would be a good way to, if you have someone in your family that you know is going through depression or is bipolar or whatever the case may have you, how do you start that conversation with your brother, with your father, in order to get him to start talking, to seeing a therapist, so whatever, to
I would
get them the help that they need?
It's tough because I don't think
I would
that's.
say step one.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say step one, you know, we have technology at our fingertips, right? More than anybody in any other age had, right?
Mhm.
Step one, do your research, understand that this is a stigma, this is an issue, and I think provide a safe space for those around you. You know, like that's the problem is people like we were just referring to the conversation of men's mental health as we were talking about how stigmatized is men feel like they don't have that open space. So you have to honestly, you like in your friend group, your family, you could be the only one to do it or be the first one to do it. But it takes us as society just being better. Be the first, provide them with a safe space where they can talk about those things. Because you could just be the one person to say somebody's going through something, and I would hope it would never leads to self harm. But you could be the one person to help save that person from doing something that could really like hurt themselves. You know, like just by you providing that safe space even if other people aren't. So we have to be able to provide safe spaces for people where people can confide, people can talk to each other, and research.
Rich?
No, I was just gonna say like what Steve is saying is really a solution for everybody. So based off of our conversation, I would say like I don't know if you ever read any books or anything that was showing like, hey, listen, like men are dogs, women are cats. So we have to look at the particular issues that pertain to men with mental health stigma. If you're specifically talking about men, um, what are the, because men with mental health stigma and women with mental health stigma have some of the same challenges, but they also some of them have different challenges.
Right.
Especially when we're talking about different cultures. Culture is the biggest thing. Because I could say, just let me speak on a lot of my friends, family, people who are close to me, Hispanic culture. It's just a no go for men to even talk about anything emotional. Let alone mental health, but emotional, and that's we have to change culture is the number one thing first and foremost
Hmm.
because no one's going to feel comfortable speaking out or talking. We could take some of these steps and do some of these things that Steve is saying. Those are very um legit things. Those are very real things that people need to do, but a lot of people aren't going to feel comfortable doing some of the things that Steve is even talking about unless we confront some of the things in our cultures, our perspective cultures that um say, hey, something's wrong with you if you're a man and you're afraid when you get around a group of people. This is just an example. You get afraid when it's too many people in the room. Something must be wrong with you. You're not a real man. I mean, that's what a lot of men hear. You know, um,
Hmm.
like I said, Nicole, that's just one example where pertains specifically men. Now, hopefully, what I said was helpful. But
Yeah,
thank you for that question.
and that's why I think more men should do research. So like that's the thing. Like if you're watching and you're a man out there, do more research on it. And like I said, sometimes it just takes one person in the friend group or the family group to be the one to provide that safe space. That's how the culture can change. I think that's how it changes. Lead by example, be a leader, lead by example, because that could be the change that's needed. It's one person at a time, right? Obviously, one person isn't going to change a whole culture. It starts by different people in different circles changing the culture one person at a time, and that's
Absolutely.
obviously something that's going to take some time. Yeah, that's going to be something that's going to take some time, but I think we will get there.
Yeah, I think to answer Nicole's question directly, in terms of men specifically, I think it's very, very important for a guy to have a very, very strong social circle around him. I think it's very
Yes.
important for a guy to have
Yes.
friends that I think it's important for a guy to have people that care about him and whatnot. So that way, if he is going through something, he has people that he can open up with. I know, like with Steve, because me and him, we've been best friends since high school. I know for me personally, if I ever, go through a downturn or anything like that, and I just need somebody to talk to, I know I can just give him a call or I can just shoot him a text. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you want to just grab some coffee, man? I got to talk to some things about that. And he would answer, and he's like, okay, yeah, sure, man. What do you want to talk about? And I would just kind of get my thoughts out there or whatnot. I think it's very, very important for a guy to have that strong, you know, that strong social circle. It's really, really key because it's very, very difficult for men, especially, to open up. I think for women, it's much more easier to open up, but for the men, because of the stigma out there, it's very, very challenging. And as Rich said, with the cultures or whatnot, in some cultures, if you open up, you're going to be looked at as weak. So it's a really, really complex issue. But I think it starts with a guy having a strong social circle around him and then going from there. I think that's the first step because if you have people that you can confide in, if you have people that you can talk to, it's going to make it much more easier moving forward. Whereas if you're by yourself and you have nobody to talk to and you have all those thoughts, you're just going to eventually blow up. You're going to end up doing something stupid. You might go to jail. You might lose control aspects of your life. So I think it all comes back to the circle that you surround yourself with.
Yeah, and too, this is something. I mean, again, this is also easier said than done. But I do hear a lot of men talk about in relationships, not to go back to the relationship thing, but I do hear a lot of men in relationships talk about the fact that they don't have that safe space in relationships with their girlfriends. And a lot of that, of course, is rooted in that ideology, right, of men not being too emotional or whatever the case may have you. And my thing is, and again, this is easier said than done, but I've always said to my friends, why are you with somebody like that? Why do you continue to stay? Now, again, it's everybody's different, right? And you can talk to your partner and say, hey, I feel as though you don't acknowledge my emotions, yada, yada, yada. But if this is something that you've expressed to your partner and you feel as though you don't have a safe space, you should, to me, it's the same as being in an abusive relationship. There's no reason why you should still be there. Can we start advocating for men to start hightailing it out when that's not something that they receive? I feel like that is a basic human need in a relationship.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree. I agree 1,000%. Like if the other person's not like if you're communicating to the other person, because one key thing about relationship is communication. You communicating to the woman and the woman communicating back to you. So use your example. If you're communicating to that person and they're not getting what you're saying, they're not taking it seriously or whatnot, they're abusing you back or anything like that, whether it's verbal, physical, or whatnot. Yeah, if you're in a situation where you're disrespected, the best thing to do would be to walk away. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you're in a situation when because respect is key. If the other person has no respect for you, they don't love you. So the best thing
and
to
I'm
do in
not
that
even talking
situation would be
about
to walk away.
abuse. It's like a neglect. You know what I mean? It could be not even like someone is outright disrespecting you, like in verbally. But if you have communicated to your partner, like, I don't feel like you see me, hear me, I don't feel like you care about my emotions, or if you, let's say you tell them something, a deep, dark secret about their past, and they bring it back up in an argument. To me, that's neglect and that's abuse. You get what I'm saying? So why, men should have boundaries as well when it comes to stuff like that. Like, that's not okay. And do people know that that's not okay? Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Or is that something that just people have
Boundaries
been putting up? Yeah, is that something that men have just been putting up with for so long that it's like, oh well, that's the way things have always been. Some women just don't care about, how I'm feeling or what I'm going through or what I've been through. So I just keep dealing with it. No, no.
Exactly. It's like sometimes men just become like robots in relationships because they become like
No.
so detached and unemotional, right? Because they're afraid to like open up or something. But it's true, like if you can't open up to your partner, like it's good to have friends and stuff, but there's gonna be things where you have to still open up to your partner. Like you can't just tell your friends everything and not share anything with your partner. And if it's one-sided, that's something like I had to learn too in like relationships. Like and like to be honest, to this day I'm still like learning, to be better, because it's stigmatized. Like, but it's when you're with someone who you love and you trust and everything, you can share those things, and there is a safe space. You know what I mean? Like you're with somebody who respects that. So it's you have to kind of break that barrier down and be able to be open more. But yeah, 100%. Like Mario said, like if someone's not respecting, like because it doesn't have to be physical abuse to be abuse. It could be an emotional abuse as well.
Yeah.
If there's no respect there and the person's not respecting that, hey, you have to be willing to walk away. 100%. Hightail it out of there. You said, Nicole.
Yeah, and with anybody. And even if you have a friend that I don't care if you've been friends with somebody since you were 5 years old. If
family
every time
too,
you open, Yeah, if every time you open up to your homie and he's like, nah, man, you know you a bitch for that. You just don't, yeah, you too emotional, or whatever the case may have you. I mean, we need to start holding other men accountable as well if they are, perpetuating that. Or correct it, or say something. Communication. And if the communication is not effective, then we need to start deading those relationships.
100%. 100%. I agree with that. George said we need another bomb ass panel again. He's like, maybe we can have like 8 people total. Maybe we can get like 8 people total. It would make things really interesting.
Tell him to get on from another platform or something.
Yeah, man, come on,
He's
bro.
supposed to stay in the chat.
This is episode 200, man. Bro, where you at, G? Come on.
I know you hosted for like 3/4 of this show, bro. Just come in for a sec. I don't know where you're at. Too busy being a G.
Just they're too busy being a G. Let him keep commenting, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, if we have one of those episodes, so I'll have to bring you in there too, Zach. I know we had discussed that before. I think all the ones you've been on, besides like the first one with like your story and everything, I think were sports ones. But definitely want to switch it up. Like when we have one of those after hours ones, I'll definitely get you in there too, man. So you can share some thoughts if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really an expert in like relationships or I'd be in one.
You don't have to be.
So,
I'm not either.
I'm not an expert, bro. Don't feel bad. I ain't an expert either, man.
Please. I surely ain't. Only one that's
we're all just learning as we go.
It's Steve.
And I'm not an expert by any means. It's just, you know what I mean? Like I'm just all learning, We're all learning as we go through life.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, I think it's just natural. Like I think you just mature with age. Like the older you get, the more wisdom you grow. It's just more natural that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
I agree. Who's in here? Is it Oh, Nate joined on. I thought George was gonna join on. Oh, he was on for like a second. I don't know what he's doing on there.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought George was going to join on. Them two had a little bit of a beat. So, yeah, I don't know. He might have accidentally. He was in a group chat that I sent the link in, so maybe he accidentally clicked it.
Who had a beat?
But
I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no, nothing. It's nothing crazy. I was like, George and Nate, like they're friends, but I was like, for a little while they didn't. So maybe he thought George was going to come in here. And
me and George would beefing
have conversation.
For a
it wasn't going to be anything crazy.
Me and George would beefing for a little bit too. It is what it is. We keep it pushing.
Yeah. George is my guy. George is going to speak his mind no matter what. He's that's George's personality. He's going to be aggressive sometimes. I know that. I know George just from like knowing him. I know Marius has known him longer than anybody. They went to college together, so he's known him for over 10 years.
Yeah.
George, you can comment on that if you want. I mean, that's you, bro. Like I know you're going to speak your mind no matter what, George.
I'll crack it up.
I know that.
George is a good guy. He doesn't be a pain in the butt sometimes. Yeah, I said it.
He's got a good heart. Yeah, no, he comes from a good. Comes from a good place. Me and him, as he can tell you, me and him have butt heads on the show before too. Like to be honest, like on different things. But but hey, at the end of the day, it's all love.
Yeah.
Everybody's a pain in the butt to some people. Just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You took it out of my mouth. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
I think again, exactly. What it is intent. Like when people are intentionally cruel or unkind. But other than that, little things like imperfection and just having differences of personality, that's something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never intentionally tried to hurt me or go out your way, it's bygones. Like, you know what I mean? Stuff happens. We're not going to agree on everything. We're not going to like each other's opinion on everything. But as long as
when there's malintent, when there's malicious intent, that's different. When it's malicious intent to do stuff, that's different.
Exactly.
I think it was a good episode though. It went 2 hours. Rich did say in the chat he did not get a chance to say he was leaving, but he said he had to go. So he wound up bouncing like 10 minutes ago. But yeah, I guess George isn't going to come on. So, I mean, this was a good episode. I mean, if anybody else doesn't have anything to add, if anything else is there, I just want to thank Richard Dante, who already left, for coming on. Everyone who commented in, Ray, George, Frank, and then Raul commented in, and Mike on here too. Just want to thank you guys for commenting in. Thank you, Mario, for joining. Zach, thank you for joining. Nicole, thank you for joining. I appreciate all of you.
No problem.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I'm glad to be a part of the special episode 200, man. And let's keep on going, bro. Let's make this show popping, man. Let's go.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
Of
Thank
course,
you as
we'll
well,
keep it
man.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
you so
200,
much.
man.
Thank you.
That's incredible.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was good seeing all that, man. It was a good discussion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if next after hours when we have, all you guys are going to be invited back. And Nicole, don't worry, you're not going to be the only woman there. We'll definitely have like 3 or 4 others on there too. So it'll be usually all do.
See, this is why me and Zach were quiet earlier, because it was Rich and Tizzy talking. I'm like, I didn't want to make it seem like we were ganging up on a woman, man. So I'm just like, all right,
Yeah.
I think 201 is enough, man. But now that they're gone, I'm like, it's fair.
I appreciate y'all being nice to me.
Yeah, Steve, somebody join.
Yeah, it's Nate. It's a Paul. Nate, why you I just saw you, bro. Why'd you change your name to Paul?
You just jet it out.
You keep clowning around. You keep clowning around too much. I saw peeking to the side. Because only people that can join are people that I sent the link to. So, if they don't have the link, they can't just hop in. So, that's how I know it's somebody who I sent the link to. And I can see it.
Yeah, it was weird, man. The video only showed for a second and then it exited out. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's a Paul. And it showed him peeking he was on the camera. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, Nate, you don't got to play.
George isn't here, man.
Nate, you don't got to play peekaboo. You can join the show, bro.
You can just say congratulations. That's it. Well, so anybody else hanging on to say, Nate? Well, that was your chance. So. What's that?
Maybe he's having connection issues.
Maybe. I don't know. I see he hit his camera and he went off. So,
that's also another reason why I
but-
didn't really speak a lot, because there's a delay between my what I hear and when I speak and when you guys hear it and everything. So it's I don't know the ample amount of time to jump in, jump out, that sort of thing, because that there's a 2-second delay or something like that.
Oh, I get it. I had that when I
Okay.
first got on. Not now though.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you all perfect and no lagging or anything. I don't know I don't know if I've lagged at all. My Wi-Fi is a little
You're
lagging
lagging.
right now. I think all day. I should have restarted my computer after work because it's been kind of lagging today.
It's all good.
It's my fault.
Yeah, you good, bro. No worries, man.
But again, thank you guys. Like I said, we'll do the next after hours. Yep, of course. And Nicole, I know you said with the after hours, you with the women thing. Nah, Mario can tell you, I think our last panel, it was very even. I think it was 4 women to 4 or 5 guys. So
yeah, they're usually pretty cool. Yeah, they're very, very evened out. So we kind of get together. I mean, you're more. I think, Steve, you have them up on YouTube, right? I think we've done 4 or 5 of them together in total. So if you don't believe us, you're more than welcome to go on YouTube and watch the show themselves. They've actually been out of all the topics that we do, Steve, the after hours have actually been my personal favorite, because it's really, really good to get the men on one side and the women on the other side, and to get them together to share their ideas and to share their experiences and when they come from and whatnot. That's really, really powerful. It goes back to what Nicole was asking with the question. I think that's how you start change. I think you start change by getting people together and having them have different conversations or whatnot. Then somebody know, okay, this is where I'm coming from. Okay, this is where you're coming from. Okay, where can we meet in the middle and then go from there? So episodes like that are very, very powerful. That's why, to me personally, outside of the financial episodes, they're my personal favorite.
Yeah, and I think the last one we had was 2 months ago, and it was about respecting relationships, healthy boundaries, and then of course we put some spice into it. It said keeping sex interest in relationships as well. So that one was about the length of this one. It was a 2-hour episode. It was a 2-hour episode with a solid discussion. So it went long. It was nice.
Yeah. All right.
But they're good episodes, bro.
Do you ever have
again. I
in-person
appreciate it.
podcasts? Do you ever have in-person podcasts?
I never have. I never have, but I'd be interested to do it. Absolutely. I would just have to find the space to do it. Like I would have to find like a little studio to do it. I would for sure love to do one actually like that.
They
and you know what?
have places that you can rent too.
Yeah, for sure. Some of them are like really pricey. I would have to find one that's kind of like budget friendly because some of them are very crazy. They'd be like a few $100s for like an hour or something like that.
Yeah,
but I think if I do my first one, what it's going to be is it's definitely going to be one of the after hours ones. That would be fun as hell. Be able to have everyone in a room and be able to do that for a couple hours would be super cool. But I think if once I do my first in-person one, for sure it's going to be like one of those after hours type episodes.
I agree, bro. I think that'd be perfect for it.
Yeah, that'd be
pretty
definitely.
far commute for me, to be honest. So.
For you, but you know what? For you,
Zach, you better get on a plane, okay?
You know what? We'll get you on the big screen though. We'll have like the big screen, and we'll put you like on a screen, kind of how like a conference room. We'll have you up there with us.
Okay.
We'll fly you out.
Yeah, Steve. Maybe we can drop to Denver. It's not that far.
Not recent Cali.
Oh, my bad, bro. You're in Cali. I apologize, bro. No,
Denver's my favorite team. We can meet in Denver. We can do something in Denver or like halfway. That could
I
work.
forgot you. I thought because you were a Bronco fan, I thought for some reason you were in Denver. My bad.
No, yeah, I'm from Cali. Yeah.
So right now it's 6:48 there.
Yeah, it's 6:48. I mean,
it's about to be 10 o'clock here. Past our
bedtime. East Coast time, bro.
It's definitely past my bedtime.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to. You.
Oh, he froze up for a second.
He freeze?
Yeah, he froze.
Yeah, I think he froze. You froze up for a second, bro.
Now you're muted.
I think you're like muted.
Am I muted? No.
Okay. No, now we hear you.
Okay.
Okay, now he's good. Yeah, now we hear you.
Okay. I was telling you guys, I don't want you to miss your precious sleep. And then I said, go Birds.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you're riding with us. I appreciate that. You know, I think everybody besides Kansas City's fans or Cowboys fans want to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And like nobody can stand Kansas City, but again, appreciate you all for joining in. Yeah, definitely, like you said, Zach, go Birds, and yeah, for the next After Hours episode for sure, I will keep you all informed.
All right, man. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night, Locked-In.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Congrats on 200, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congrats, bro. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Good night. Take care.